We don't even care, y'all.
I don't even care what my name be. We just want to talk. You. Let's be real. Those were fun games.
I never played it.
I played it. Mic on. Mic on?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, y'all. My name is Zakia. I'm just kidding. Zakia.
What's up, mamas? We're here to talk about sleepovers today. And some people do them, some people don't. There's reasons for that. I think a lot of people, as our kids get older, we're trying to figure out, should we do them? Should we not do them? And we have a little experience, a little bit of background in this. So I thought this would be something good to bring to the table.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about it because we want to keep our babies safe, right? Mm-hmm. So should we do it or should we not do sleepovers? Our kids get older, sleepovers are very common. Like they want to have more fun. We go to parties. It's never enough. Like I want to sleep over. Can we not? But one thing's for sure is I hate it when kids ask in front of either the parent or the kid, Mom, can I have a sleepover? Like they think that's going to make it better, right? Like they think that I'm going to, like normal parents would be intimidated by that.
Right.
They would be like, well, I didn't want to say no in front of the friend.
It's a flat out no.
No, it's automatic. And I learned this from my mom. My mom was like, never ask in front of a friend. Mm-hmm. If you do, it's going to be an automatic no. And I will call my kid out too. I'd be like, are you really asking in front of your friend?
Right.
I'll call them out.
Do you want this response right in front of your friend?
Really?
Okay, let's do it.
And she's, no, Mom. Okay. You go back to playing. You got 10 more minutes. And we leave and we going home and sleeping on our own bed.
Exactly.
It's true though. I think that's the number one thing. Like don't ask in front of your friend and don't ask in front of the parent.
Especially when you already have the answer. You know the answer.
She's just trying to manipulate.
Right.
I'm speaking about one specific child. You already know which child, don't you?
I have only one that asks too. The other one won't even ask. She knows.
Yeah, she know better. But
for me, it's a no, and it's always been a no. There's so many reasons behind it, but I think the most important one is their safety, protection, right? Yeah. I like to know what's going on with my kids at all times. Yep. So I'm always like, if you're home, I don't have to worry about who's in your room or, how late are you going to bed? What are you watching? What are you getting into? Like when you're at home, I can dictate what's going on your phone or, your laptop. I have those securities put in, those parental features put in. So yeah, it's a no. And the number one reason is their safety.
Have you ever had your kids do sleepovers? Like ever?
No.
Are there any exceptions?
No, I've never had it. Like, as far as my mom's house, yes. My sister's, yes. But
so certain family members.
Right, certain family members.
So is it certain family members with like their whole families, moms, dads, siblings, or is it just like single, like your mom?
They're like,
or like
single. Yeah, they're like
single, because you never know. Yeah. And it's like you may trust the family, but can you really trust the friends that they're like hanging out with that night? You know what I mean?
That's right. It's important to know who's at that household. Like my mom's house, she doesn't have people just coming in and out of her home or staying
and she
there.
knows your values and she
understands
knows your limitations. Yeah.
And my sisters are the same way. They know we're all pretty much the same. So for me, it's like, I know your husband or you don't have a husband. There's no older brothers or cousins or uncles walking around and.
Every time you say uncle, I'm like, what if there's like some weird crusty uncle living in the basement?
You have to wonder.
And why I say crusty? But that's what comes to mind. Like there's some weird crusty uncle living in the basement, like up to no good on his computer. Like you just never know. And you never know what someone's going through. We do not do sleepovers now. Boys, girls, no matter the age, it's all the same. Although I may trust my son as a 12-year-old because his personality is very like dominating, not dominating, leader. He's very much a leader. He's confident. Like, I don't think anyone's going to mess with him. I really don't. Like, he's very confident. He's vocal. I don't have a problem with him doing sleepovers, but we don't because I want to be consistent. I want the expectation to be for the entire family. And I want to show my girls it's not just them because they may be weaker, prey on, or it's just overall, this is our family rule. And it goes both ways. Exactly. My kids are not allowed to sleep over at anyone's house, and we don't not allow people to sleep over at our house. Now, I will be honest, there have been like a few times, like, you know, safety situations where a parent has been drinking, we're hanging out at the house, them and their kids will spend the night, but we do separate rooms. Like, girls are in one room, boys are in another room. Like, there's been times where we've bent them a little bit, but I still have certain expectations. Like, y'all need to stay in this room, y'all need to stay in that room, things like that. But there's the other aspect about it.
Well, I'll say that, you know, you asked me if there were any exceptions with my kids staying over, and I said no, but I have had other people's children stay at my home. And I know it might seem like a double standard, but, you know, I always thought, well, my daughters can't sleep there, but you can bring them to sleep over here. And I think that's because I'm just like that parent that I'm going to get up in the middle of the night a few times to see what's going on. I'm going to make sure you're in your beds. I'm going to make sure that you're you know, taking it down at a decent time, that my doors are open. I don't sleep with my bedroom door closed, you know, so that I can see what's going on.
You also want to be a fun parent. You want them to hang out and allow them to come and hang out too. So it's difficult. There's like that fine line.
But I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. I've always had the rule where my kids cannot sleep over at other places, but I will allow them to sleep at my house. Like, for many years, that's what it was. So we had people sleep over. But as my kids got older, I mean, I now have 3 preteen girls, adolescent girls, and I have an adolescent boy, and my 9-year-old is quickly coming into that. Now we do not allow anyone to spend the night except for those certain particular reasons, for safety reasons, because I want to protect my son and I want to protect my husband. There's been like situations that I have learned about, like in our circle of friends, where a friend of a girl, like a girlfriend, has slept over, and for some reason there was some little like petty fight, and they blamed the brother and lied about the brother, saying the brother did something to them that was completely not true, but just that fight, that petty fight, got out of hand, and it ruined that boy's life. Like, it ruined them. So, you know, I hate to think that may happen, but it does happen. It does. And it could go both ways. So not only am I protecting my child, my daughter, I'm protecting my husband and my son, and maybe even myself and my other kids, because I have a lot of kids.
And you have to be proactive, right? Because once something occurs, there's no going back, right? You can't go back and rewind the hands of time. And
you can't see everything. You can't see everything.
So the best thing you do is, you know, be proactive, play offense, and say, you know what, this is how I feel, and I feel so strongly about it that this is going forward. This will be the decision. So.
Yeah, and you have to stick to it. See, you are better at sticking to your guns than I am, because I be having fun, and I'm like, oh, it would be fun. We can continue this party, and then we can have breakfast in the morning. And I'm just like, no. So if you want to spend the night, your mama's spending the night too.
Right.
Your mama spend the night too. We'll have a sleepover together. Like, we talked about this, because sleepovers are fun. They're like super common. Like, they're like the ultimate birthday party, you know? So we don't want our kids to miss out on that. So we've had sleepovers in the neighborhood where I'm like, you can go, you can have fun, but at 11 o'clock, I'm picking you up.
Right. I think it's also important to just, like I said, the initial reason was safety and protection, but I also think it's important to teach your children how to be comfortable with the idea that there's a time for everything, right?
Yes.
So we get together, we have a great time, but there's a time to go home too, right?
And sleep in your own bed.
Feel comfortable going home and sleeping in your own bed, and hopefully that translates to your life as an adult, right? Especially for young women. We know, we see it all the time on the news, you see it on social media, you know, young women getting date raped, and I think that if you instill that, I don't want to say fear, but just that awareness.
Values, respect for yourself. Also fear.
And the awareness
also fear.
that we don't live in a good world. You know, we don't live in a world where things don't happen. So you have to kind of always, you know, have your head on a swivel.
You can't always trust everyone.
Exactly. Not even those that you call friends, because we see that on social media too.
And like I said, you may trust them, but what if they allow someone else to come hang out that night? You know what I mean? You don't know. You don't have control of the environment when they're not in your presence and where they're out somewhere else.
Exactly. So if they have the value system that going home is okay because it's a safe place, then hopefully that's what happens even when they get older. And then they teach their kids. And then you have less situations where, you know, your kids are being caught off guard by a creepy father or brother or, I mean, let's
or mother or auntie. You never know.
Even nowadays, you know, I've seen stories of moms bringing their sons' kids over and they end up fooling around one of their sons'
But
friends.
also they protect. Like, look at the Mendez thing. Like, right? It was the father, right? But the mother was condoning it and protecting because she had some weird obsession where she loved her husband more than her kids. And like, I don't know. But you know what I mean? She knew about it. And there's women that actually, there was like a case in Chicago where the women bring them in and groom them for the husband or the dad or the uncle or the brother or whatever. Right. So women are not innocent. Just because there's a single woman household does not mean that it's a safe place for your child.
And just because you and I have the idea that, you know, protection for our kids is number one, not all women think that way. Some are sick and some have gone through challenges in their own lives that have made them the monsters that they are. So it's not, you know, everyone else's job to protect your child. It's your job to do it.
Absolutely.
We had so much to say about this topic, we made 2 parts, so check out part 2.